If you're looking to start sim racing on a budget in 2026, stick around, this video is going to be for you. We're gonna go through wheelbases and also touch on pedals and chassis, everything more on the budget side so you can start this hobby without spending that much money. First of all, a big thank you to all the viewers, members, and subscribers for making all of this possible. A big thank you to all of them. I'm also trying to get 100,000 subscribers. So if these kinds of videos help you out, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. That helps a lot this channel. Thank you. It doesn't really matter what you're going to get. You need to keep this in your mind. No matter if you do an upgrade or not, new equipment won't make you faster unless you have something wrong with your current equipment. I have done videos on pedals and wheelbases about it in the past, proving it. What does make you faster is essentially training, doing your laps, and the faster way to get there is getting something like Coach Dave Academy. CDA will have data packs, it will have setups, it will have ways to compare yourself against some of the best drivers in the world, and from that learn what you're doing wrong or what you can do better. They have information for Assetto Corsa, iRacing, Assetto Corsa Competizione, Le Mans Ultimate, and also Gran Turismo 7. Check out the affiliate link below in the description. For 2026, the sim racing market has changed a lot from previous years, but there are a few things that always keep the same. The first one is the second-hand market. Always go to the second-hand market and check out your budget, what you have available, because sometimes some people are actually trying to upgrade or they got rid of their equipment for one reason or the other, and you can get pretty good deals on second-hand equipment. And oftentimes you can get really good deals for equipment that is mid-range or high-end, that probably is dated or a little bit used, and it still fits your budget. Check out their descriptions, what is told about their equipment, and buying secondhand is always a risk. For some of the equipment, I will have either an affiliate link or my Amazon stores below. Have a look at those if you want to help the channel out. And generally, just like last times, there is another thing that you need to keep in mind, is that avoid bungee wheels. We're starting to talk about, you know, PXN V9s or Trustmaster T80s, stuff of this type. Might as well just spend a little more and go directly into wheels that will have some sort of reputation that is good, and it won't make you, take your hair out every time you use them. 2026 is different because there is essentially direct drives everywhere, and the direct drives are getting cheaper and cheaper, so that means you can get really good equipment for less money, all things considered. So some of the equipment that I'm going to mention at the start, it can be only thought about in context about your budget, the availability, the price that is available, and that includes the Logitech G229 and the Logitech G923. These have been around for decades. They work, they're fantastic. They have PlayStation compatibility or Xbox compatibility, depending on the version that you buy from the get-go, while some of what I'm going to talk in next doesn't really have it at all, so you need to keep that in mind. These are good wheelbases. They do what they do okay. They are not the best. You can't really expect, compare them with direct drives or anything of the sort, but they have been working very, very well, and a lot of fast people use them for good reason, because they really work. The bigger issue will be the pedals, and the pedal set is, a little bit bad, all things considered nowadays. Very, very dated, but it works. The T300 is the next option, and it sits on a really weird situation where it's very close to direct drive prices, if not beating direct drive prices. The equipment, it is dated, but it's still good. But once again, dated, and depending on the version, it might not be worth at all. For me, always go for the RS GT if you, of course, you want to stay with PlayStation or just PC, because it will have the 3-pedal version. It won't be much more expensive. It's a good wheel. At the time when it was out, it was one of the best wheels around, but now there are much better stuff around. There's a lot of equipment nowadays, and we're going to start with PXN. The first one I'm going to mention for PXN, I don't really recommend it. That's the PXN V10 Ultra. Essentially, it's a rehashed V10, and the V10 was bad, and the V10 Ultra, even though it's direct drive, it has the same issues in terms of form factor as the other version. I would avoid this unless the price is right. PXN has the VD4, VD6, and VD10 that in terms of prices are actually pretty nice. The VD4 and VD6 will come in the bundle with wheelbase and pedals. They are pretty decent. I was very impressed with the VD6, and the VD10 will have just wheel and wheelbase you'll have to buy the pedals separately. Force feedback is good, the quality is decent, but in a bundle it's where this thing shines. Fanatec has an option called the CSL DD, which is essentially the direct track version of the Logitech G923. It has been around for years for very good reason. Good force feedback, the quality is decent, has huge ecosystem, and has a quick release that allows for multiple wheels as well. They sell the wheelbase separately, but in reality what you want really when you start is the bundle. There are two flavors of it, 5 Nm and 8 Nm. There are many bundles, but the cheapest bundle is around 399 for 5 Nm. That comes with the wheel and wheelbase and the pedals, and the 8 Nm version is 499. In my opinion, go with the more expensive one because the upgrade is already there and you'll have power, and you also can more future-proof this. This wheelbase with the correct wheel will be compatible with the Xbox, but it's not compatible natively, wink wink, with the PlayStation. Going next is Moza. Moza has a lot of offers for a low entry level. That includes the R3, the R5, and depending on the prices, even the R9. The R3 has a very interesting bundle for the price. It starts at around 289 pounds. It really depends. Once again, everything depends on price, and area, and availability, and all of that. And it will be PC compatible. There's also an Xbox compatible version that will have a very decent wheelbase, almost 4 Nm, and R3. Decent pedals for the price, and also a decent wheel. So if it's something you just want to just put on your desk, get one of those, but it works perfectly fine. If you want more power, there is the R5, which is essentially is a little bit of the same, but with more power and also a better wheel. The bigger brother of this entry level is the R9, but for this one it's more of outside of the prices that I would recommend for this video. So really depends on the offers. Right now they have a really good offer for the R9 with the KS wheel, which is the formula wheel. The R9 has excellent strong force feedback, and the price for this bundle is $499, but you need to pay the pedals separately, so you can choose other pedals if you want to spend a little more. If you get them at this price, it will be a fantastic offer. Otherwise, it is around 699 euros for this bundle, and then you have of course to buy the pedals separately. But at $499, it's actually not too bad, but at the time you are seeing this, you'll have to check out if that deal is available. In the next one, it's going to be huge for those of you who just want something that is not too expensive, just like the T300 RS, and it's going to be fire and forget. In this case, it's the Trustmaster T598. Even though it's not my favorite wheelbase of the bunch, I've tried it and I don't like it very much. The wheel isn't really that good, in my opinion. The pedals, I didn't like them. The wheelbase, force feedback, and the form factor isn't really that good. But at the price, it doesn't really matter because it does everything at that price very, very well. Remember, in a lot of things in sim racing, it's not just about looking at things separately. You need to put everything in context. And in the context of the Trustmaster 3598, it makes absolute sense because at that price, you have PlayStation compatibility, which will be, very important for a lot of people that want to start sim racing and go to, starting with Gran Turismo, and every so often go to the PC and go to Assetto Corsa. So if you are one of those racers, I think the Trustmaster T598 could be one of your best options. Now we're going to go to the more expensive stuff, still budget-ish, and in this case Asetek. Asetek tended to be a more high-end level type of brand. They have very, very good wheelbases, and now they have also a more lower-end system called the Asetek Initium that comes with a 5.5 Nm wheelbase. Very good force feedback. The wheel quality is good, but the quick release they have is absolutely fantastic. And they have their pedal set, which is essentially a Hall effect, but you can do upgrades on it, and everything is around 550 euro, 550 pounds, something of the sort, which is not too bad, all things considered, with the quality of Asetek. If you want something that is a little more high-end and has also an ecosystem that allows you to upgrade, this could be a very good option because the pedal set can be upgraded to load cell or even hydraulics. Logitech also has now an affordable direct drive with the RS50. There are many flavors of it, and it starts at 250 pounds, 350 euros, depending if it's a PC or the PlayStation version. This is a very, very good wheelbase that has some of the best force feedback for the price. For the PC, if you just want to mix and match the more basic version, I think it will be the best. But if you want to have access to the PlayStation or the Xbox, there will be options for that as well. That will be more expensive and also brings True Force, bringing also haptics to the force feedback. Pay attention though when you are buying this, because it will be more expensive to buy this on a bundle than to buy every single piece separately, and sometimes can be upwards of 100 euros or something. The RS pedals are load cell and they tend to be quite good, so this is a good option if you want something from a reputable brand. The last one I'm going to talk about as a recommendation within the range of this video will be the Nikon RS. It's around 699 pounds in euros. Really depends on your area. Once again, it's one that is hard to recommend, not because of the price, but because their quick release is really not compatible with anything outside of their system. There's no really way to emulate it, and the ecosystem they have, it's really small. There are no options for wheels. The wheelbase is really good. The pedals are likely the better pedals over here in all of the bundles. The pedal that I like the most, honestly. Better than a lot of pedals that you pay a lot of money. And the wheel is not too bad. The system together is really good, but that quick release system is close to their ecosystem, so you can't do anything at all at the moment. The price is a little bit more inflated, but the quality is decent, all things considered, but I can't really recommend it at the moment. It may change in 2026 if they bring new stuff to their ecosystem. And then you also have Thermaltake. Thermaltake is known for cooling and cases and all of that. They have their G6 line. I haven't tried it, but the quality seems to be okay. That could be a good option, and the price in the United Kingdom is 479 pounds, around 650 in Europe, 6 Newton meters. So compared to the Nikon, well, you have to give or take. Check out the reviews. There's also other two brands that I'm going to mention, but they're not really budget. They're budget-ish. They have budget-ish options. The first one is Simagic with Simagic Evo Sport. You do have to build your stuff. You can get their Simagic P500 pedals. The wheelbase is around 450. The cheapest wheel they have is around 250, and then the pedals, the cheapest one they have, it's around 170, 180. So everything goes to around 800, 900 pounds. But their ecosystem tends to be really, really good. Could be a more expensive entry point that you can later on, diverge. Another option is Conspit. Conspit has one option for their Apex series. Their Ares Apex is absolutely fantastic, and they do have a bundle that costs around 1,000 pounds. That comes with a round wheel, that comes with hydraulic pedals as well, but that is more expensive. The thing about Conspit Apex is in that the force feedback is very similar to their high-end stuff. You go to their high-end stuff and you go to their lower-end stuff, you can configure it exactly the same way, and it feels pretty much exactly spot on. Of course, the bigger wheels are a little bit faster. If you want to buy pedals separately, you do need to have, once again, a load cell. There are a few choices that you can have. In the case of Fanatec, they have the CSL Elite V2s. Fantastic pedal set. I've done a comparison between pedals that included very, very cheap pedals and also very, very expensive pedals. And the Fanatec CSL Elite V2s had actually some of the best laps, even though that wasn't the more consistent, but within the scope of the video was within, half a tenth of everything else. So it was fantastic. And another brand that really blew my mind was actually Simpson. I reviewed this last year, and we're talking about the pedal set that costs 200 pounds for 3 pedals. Depending on what you're gonna get also in terms of accessories, can be more expensive for that. But it's a copy of the Oising belt. It does need some things to keep in mind, like sharp edges, and sometimes you may need to remove the pistons because they can be quite noisy. But for the price, 200 pounds, around $200 for 2 pedals, or 200 pounds with 3 pedals. The prices differ between regions. I mean, some of the best pedals I've seen out there for the bang for the buck. There are other options as well. You have the Simagic P500s, you have the Mazda SRPs, you have the Mazda CRP2s. Those are a little more expensive. And for the Initium series, you can do upgrades as well. You can get their load cell system inserted, and also you can get the clutch. And the same with the Fanatec CSL. You can get the Fanatec CSL load cell pedal separately, and you also, with that, because the brake becomes a clutch, you'll have an extra pedal. So that's pretty cool as well. You can always think in the future and do changes as you need them. The last point about budget sim racing is, where are you going to use this? Is it going to be on your desk? What are you going to do with your chair? You need sliders on your wheel. Are you going to use a shoe under your wheels to not go back? That is an option. I have done that before. And some of you may want to move to something a little more sturdy, like a wheel stand. GT Omega has very nice wheel stands. I've tested one that was able to withstand a direct drive with 25 Newton meters. Pretty good. That's the wheel stand DDX. You can also have something like a chassis, a very cheap chassis. I would recommend, if you do get the cheap chassis, that you'll get one that has at least an 80 width rail. That includes the prime lights, that includes the Track Racer TR80s or the sorts, because thinner than that will bend more. And if you get the 80, that will be, the sweet spot. You can get those at around 350 pounds, $400 new. It's a more expensive thing. You also need to think about chairs, but if you are going for just, best bang for the buck, generally those are the wheel stands. The ones from GT Omega tend to be really good. But for those, depending on where you live, there might be other options from another brand. So I want your recommendations in the comments below. This is essentially the list for 2026. Don't be afraid and leave your comments below with recommendations, stuff that you've got. I want you to keep in mind that you need to plan ahead when you do sim racing, because it's a complicated hobby. There's a lot of stuff, so you do need to plan ahead. And in terms of budget sim racing, always plan ahead. Think about where an equipment fits on your budget. Don't overspend for the sake of overspending, but at the same time, don't be afraid to buy a little more expensive if it's more worthwhile for the long run, if it's going to keep you, avoiding spending more money in the future. If this video was useful for you, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and happy 2026.